Hey, what's going on everybody? This is C-Spray. Right now you're about to watch a video with the Paul Eiding, the voice actor of Perceptor, G1 Transformer cartoon. I recorded it, but with my camera, since it's starting to go. It's been over 2.5 years since I got it, and I use it every day pretty much. The battery case is falling out, the audio microphone thing is not working as much as it used to, and of course when it records, the video stops every so often if I'm recording in a long period of time, and then it says write error, and then I can record 45 minutes worth of video, and then all of a sudden it just says write error and none of it gets recorded. So with that being said, I have to cut it every so often just so I can get periods of the film at a time. So doing reviews and stuff like that, I can cut it quickly and stuff like that and then edit it later. But when you want to do a full scene, like a Q&A panel, especially for an hour's worth, you want to get everything. And this camera right here, the battery was shot at the time when I had my other camera, so it just the timing of everything didn't work out. So anyways, so right now you're gonna watch the Q&A panel of Paul Eiding. So bear with it, bear with the cuts, bear with the the missing parts, and bear with the shaky camera, because sometimes I was just holding my camera up, just watching it and not realizing it, and it was like everybody's heads and chairs and stuff like that. So when I realized it, I had it on him at the time, and then every so often I would kind of just let it go, and then you'll see, and it's not the best quality. If you want to check out better quality, you can check out other people's that may have gone. You can check out Questlife. He has good footage of a lot of footage of TFCON and what have you. Justin T2RX6 I think was recording the Paul Eiding panel, and as was Transformatic James. So you can check them out. They possibly might have better footage for you. But right now, if you just want to check it out for the meantime, go ahead. And yeah, so let's get into this, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, see ya.
Yeah, he didn't share that with us, it was. It was just cosmic growth. That's all.
Thanks very much.
You bet. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah. Metal Gear Solid, for those of you who don't know, it's a game that we first did in 1998, 99. We've done, we just finished, we did Metal Gear 4, and they're doing a new one that I'm not involved with. Yeah.
That's my question right there.
Metal Gear Rising?
Yeah, I was going to ask if you're actually involved in that in any way.
No, the last I heard, it's basically Rising. There's no snake involved, and no Colonel Campbell. It's really a great series, great game. Some of the cinematics in that were just amazing. They made a movie, is basically what it is, and there really is a story to it, background. So it's not just a shoot 'em up game. And they keep talking about making a film, but the fellow who created it, loves the game so much, loves the story so much that he is so protective that I don't know if it'll ever happen.
Thank you.
You bet. Hello.
Hi, Paul. First off, just to answer a previous question about the episode Cosmic Rust and if it was a metaphor for AIDS. Paul Davids actually said that it was, he didn't say it was a metaphor for AIDS, but he actually said at another convention that it was inspired by the time, because all this was really in the conscious of the public about diseases and everything was really in there. So it was inspired by the times like that.
That was early on. That was really early on.
That was like 85.
Yeah.
Around.
Because AIDS wasn't that much in the public eye.
Right. People weren't aware of it.
About it. In fact, I lost a friend, a dear friend, in '85, who came to our house one day. We bought our house. A wonderful actor, singer, and he came to our house and. No one had any idea that he was ill, and within 3 months he was gone. This was at the beginning of before people really talked about AIDS. It was obviously around, but no one really spoke about it. He never shared that with us. We never heard that in the studio.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I guess my question is, if you can remember way back to your audition for Perceptor, was there anything interesting about your audition, and where did the British accent come from?
Well, what they wanted, as I recall, now help me out if I told this to you another time. You let me know, okay? As I recall, they wanted sort of an effete English accent. So at first they said we wanted kind of a prototypical bumbling scientist who's so concerned about science that he loses track of other things, which is pretty, common when you think of it. The scientist, Cary Grant has played that kind of a scientist, and it's kind of, wondered after a while. So they wanted him kind of upbeat, and they wanted him very bright, and they wanted British. And so I did this thing, and I said, it sounds a little like, C-3PO. And he said, oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's what we're looking for. So that's how it ended up, And back then, everybody wanted to audition for more than one character, because everybody has more than one character in them if they're any kind of a voice actor. But then it was like, we're going to start with just these people. Everybody does one character initially, and then as they add on characters, they got to do more characters. The great thing about, I'm going to go a little side, this is not about the audition, but the great thing about doing the Transformers that has changed over the years, and that is that everybody got to be in that room at the same time. There were times when there'd be 8 to 10 guys in there, microphones all over the place, and you get to feed off of each other's energy. And most of the time it was just fabulous. There were times when we lose control and start laughing hysterically because of some of the things we have to do. I think I've shared this before, where there's a point where we were all insecticons, eating buildings and chewing bridges or whatever, and watching everybody do their insecticon faces. Because when you're doing the voices, you're becoming the character. You're not just standing there as Paul Eiding. You're hoping your face is, it gets really silly. I don't need to do it. But to watch 9 or 10 grown men act like idiots in front of microphones, there are moments when you say, my God, they're paying me to do this. It's like, who's the crazy one, Me or them? They're paying me, so but it was a great time. You mean in the Transformers?
Well, I think he's more asking from your voice work. Like,
okay. That's a tough one. That's a very good question, sir.
The guy before us told us actually.
Hey, I love Perceptor, I just think they didn't give him enough to do. Because he's the kind of dad that I've always wanted to be, even though he's a grandfather. He's that, roughed up guy who always tells Ben all the time, think before you act. You gotta know what you're going to do, and then follow through. Right? So I love him. I think what else is it? I'm trying to think. I've said this before. One of my favorite characters is a guy from a cartoon that nobody saw called The Toxic Crusaders. I love The Toxic Crusaders. It was really
or something.
God, it was just this over-the-top, bizarro cartoon based on he was a test pilot, like a Chuck Yeager guy from the South, test pilot who flew through a hole in the ozone and crashed into a vat of radioactive pepper. It can happen because the pepper became huge. And his power was They were all hideously deformed creatures of superhuman size and strength. Everybody had one of them. And Nozezone's power was he sneezed, and when he sneezed, he could level blocks. He could tear down a forest, you know. And Nosezone comes like that. Good God. But it was great fun to do. I loved Nosezone because there was, anytime there's an innocence to a character, I like that. I like that they're not so, they don't know everything. You know, there's something, there's an honesty, and there's an innocence. I think it's still that the child in me that's still kind of innocent. You know, at least I hope.
Hi.
Hi.
What do you think about the other people who's played Perceptor, like the animated Perceptor or the Writer's Perceptor?
I've never heard of them.
What?
No, well, the one Perceptor was the, when they made him like Hawking, Stephen Hawking sound?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like it. Not because, you know, it wasn't me. It just, you know, I didn't care for it. There's something about any part of humanity, then it left a little hollow, you know. So I didn't particularly care for it, and I haven't heard any. Who else did the Perceptor?
He was Wrecker in the comics. Sniper, I think.
Oh yeah. I thought you were asking who did the voice.
Oh no. What about?
Oh, you mean the comic where they made him the the sniper? When I first heard that, I was outraged. What? This is a matter of science. How dare you? But actually, it's a pretty cool idea. You know, people who kill people too. You know, so yeah, seriously, I was like, what? They did it. Why do that? But then, you know, I can see it. Very cool.
All right, thank you.
Were you surprised that the site actually works?
So what?
The site actually works.
It actually works. Very cool.
I got two questions. One's kind of serious, one's more or less silly. The first one is, for a Transformers movie, did you have any idea that of all the Transformers, especially from the season 1 characters, that Perceptor would end up stealing as much of the show as he did?
No. We had no idea. Listen, I've said this before. The hardest thing for me, when we got to the point where I had to say, I'm afraid to lose. I'll take it. It blew me away. We had no idea. They're going to kill what? Again, it's like, they didn't give it to us ahead of time. The way we worked back then is, nowadays, often you'll get the script a day or two in advance. They'll email you the script, you read over the script, so you know, you have some idea what you're going to do. Get into the studio, we do a quick, you know, often table read, sometimes just go right behind, go to the microphone without doing a table read, you just see what comes out, you know. So we didn't know. We had no idea. So that was a shocker. And I had no idea. We didn't know who all was going to be killed off. You know, so that was all, you know, a shock to people.
Request you to do a Ray Campbell, but say Optimus. Do it like a snake, like Optimus, Optimus. In Ray Campbell.
Yeah, you would be the first. You mean Roy Campbell calling for Optimus?
No, like when the snake dies. The snake.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. All right. Well, then watch your ears. Optimus. Optimus! Optimus! And the louder snake, and the longer snake. And I did it for somebody, and it's their ringtone. So the first one's kind of quiet, a little louder, and then if they don't pick up by the third, man. Yeah, right.
Hi, Paul.
Hey.
What do you think of the live-action movies?
What do I what?
Have you seen the live-action movies? What do you think about them?
The third one? You watched part of the third one? I haven't seen the fourth, There are 4, right? But, the second one was the second one, yeah. It's hard. You know what? To be honest, it's not the same. It's different. It's a different animal. So if you, for what it was, the bells and whistles and the amazing CGI and all that stuff, it wasn't totally my cup of tea. But so what? But I'm not as crazy about what they've done with them. I would rather they have. If you want the truth, number 1, I would love to be involved. Number 2, the most important thing for me is I would like to do more about the robots. It's like, okay, all right, we need this. I don't want to disparage it because it's different. It's a different thing. It just is my cup of tea. I just think it should be more about the relationship of the robots. The people I find boring. I don't even necessarily the actors or things like that. I just find the way it's written. I mean this sincerely. And hit me on Facebook and remind me, because I will. I don't know. I'm supposed to be saying this. Okay, don't tell me about it.
This won't be posted on YouTube.
I don't want to get in trouble. We're right now in the process of doing a lot more Ben 10. And the last incarnation, Grandpa Max wasn't around a lot because they were now 16 years old. They've got to learn how to fend for themselves and take what they've learned from Grandpa Max. But this time things have changed again. And now Ben is living with Grandpa Max. Grandpa Max has a, shoot, it's going to be all over, isn't it? Grandpa Max in the episode. And the scripts are really cool. They've made Ben older, so it's, they're appealing to an older demographic, And everything looks really cool. We also did a throwback for Asia. The original Ben 10 is huge, parts of Asia, and we did a movie that's coming out over there with the original Ben 10, with Ben and Gwen, Tara Strong, and that's happening, I think, pretty soon. I think it's going to be open in the States and Canada sometime next year. So that's fun. And you know what? I'm gonna bring that up.
I'd like to see it.
Very cool.
I'd like to see a Perceptor cameo, even if it's just a microscope. But no bag of little green apples, please.
Oh.
11:35. I'd like to remind people, I guess I have to repeat myself, please keep your cell phones down, keep your side conversations that have been on the I can hear your plastic bag right now, okay?
Yeah. If she means it too. I wouldn't mess with it.
Just not only because people are filming this, but because, you want people are right there. This is the first. Thank you.
Hi, Ed.
Hello.
I have 2 questions, hopefully quick questions. First one,
I was just happy to be alive. Seriously, that's you get the scripts and you say, okay, what's going to happen? Am I going to live or die? And after the movie, you never knew what was going to happen because that hadn't happened before that I can remember in animated film where they killed off regulars. These are guys that you've been watching for a year or 2, and they're gone. And then you learn that it's about the toys. You got to make new toys. You got to create new characters. And the same thing is happening now with Ben 10 when they keep creating new creatures. So the guys who did some of the old creatures, some of the aliens, are no longer around. It's like, okay, I guess I'm gone now. Okay, I won't be back recording anything else. So you think of those practical things, which was season 3 and which was season 2.
Basically, season 3 had a lot more space, like
yeah, there you go.
mentioned, and Rodimus Prime and Ultra Magnus were
Oh yeah, no, I meant which episodes that I was in, you know.
I guess my
Magica.
second question, and this is more of a request. Actually, it is a request. I know that you're going to be performing in the live script reading later on today, and
yes.
So everyone can see that at 5 p.m.
With Mr. Gary Charles.
Yes, that's correct. Would it be too much to ask you right now if you could ad lib a conversation between Perceptor and Grandpa Max, talking about aliens attacking, and mention like Perceptor talking about maybe a space bridge, and Grandpa Max mentioning plumbers, tools, and weapons. Is that too much to ask?
Yes.
Okay.
And, you know, why is it my character? Okay, well, before I do that, I need some help. All these characters, and you guys that have seen me before, you haven't helped me at all. Everybody, all these different characters have, you know, their tagline. You know, Autobots roll out. You know, that sort of thing. Grandpa Max doesn't have one, nor does Perceptor. What would Perceptors be?
Well, Perceptors.
What? Now, why didn't you guys tell me that? Of course. That would be good enough. You'd be happy with that? Cool. Because I've been trying to write now a cursory evaluation of Decepticon capability and indicate a distinct tactical disadvantage. In other words, we're outnumbered. So science, or the pen is the pencil is mightier. And Grandpa Max. Grandpa Max. Any intelligent man knows that it takes more than bombs in the back. You're always telling them to go fight the aliens. Why does he need 4 hours? Why doesn't he just think? Well, sometimes with alien attack, you need more than just a brain. You need something that's going to blow somebody's head off. Yes, I understand that, Grandpa Max. But you must remember when you were younger. The time I was a child. Grandpa Max. Oh, no. Who is it? Where am I? That's a tough one. Because, Perceptor, he and Grandpa Max have been along well. Grandpa, I'm going to talk to the guys at Cartoon Network. If we can sneak something in there. That would be really fun. We do Perceptor, but I can do
Something Perceptor like.
a Perceptor type of voice. For one of their characters. Oh, you got me going that one. The wheels are spinning. Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Thank you very much.
You bet me some. That's it. Oh, I like that.
Hello, Paul. Name's Gary.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Good, man.
Good. I wanted to ask you a question about your acting and your career and stuff. And if there was any characters or roles that really touched you or have, say, become a part of you going forward in your career.
Oh, wow. Not just voiceover? Anything?
Yeah, anything. I mean, we see a lot of Hollywood actors act and stuff, and they do something nice and noble, and then they go to do something jerky to life. Is there anything that really kind of carried you moving on?
Yeah, well, in your acting, my first love, I'll be flat out honest, I started out on stage, in theater. I truly love being in the theater because you get that immediate response from an audience. And every time you perform, it only happens once. That moment, like this, actually this moment right here, is gone. It'll never happen again. Doesn't matter, even if everybody came back here, sat in exactly the same place, and I stood in the same place, the event would be different. You know what I mean? It happens that moment in time. And when you're on stage performing, and you're sharing something with the audience, and they're getting it, or you're a jerk or a good guy, or whatever. It's that moment, and it's electric. And there's an old adage that says that the audience gets a performance that it deserves, which means it is a shared event. If people watching are alive and involved and connected, the actors and the piece gets better. Everything's lifted up, you know what I mean? One of the characters that I did it for 11 months, I did a show called Fiddler on the Roof. And I played Tevye, who is, he's got 5 daughters. And it's about, changing times and all that sort of thing. But Tevye gets to sing, dance, act. He's on stage probably 3/4, 4/5 of the time. And it is totally draining. But it is such, it was so cool. Because he also talks about, his belief and his love for his family, all that sort of thing. All that mushy stuff. And I think a lot of the characters want to get, I mean, certainly with Grandpa Max, I really want to be that guy. I've tried to be that guy for my daughters. Who is caring, loving, strong when he has to be, and trying to impart some knowledge, and then hopefully they take it and move with it, like any parent, any good parent. Other roles, a lot of them. And there are other roles that I never wanted. I never wanted to be part of it. I played guys who were just really not savory characters. And I did a series years and years ago, before most of you were born, called The Charming, where I was just kind of this nutty guy, a next door neighbor type of guy, but a good guy, But he's also one of those guys who was kind of vacuous and there's not much going on. So those kind of characters you just walk away from. But those other ones like Tevye, things like that make a difference. Did I answer your question at all?
That's pretty close.
Cool.
You probably won all day with that.
Yeah, I could. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. But thank you for your time.
It'll start weaving its way. Yeah, absolutely right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Someone's coming up. Sir.
I was really excited when I went to E3. I got to play the new God of War compilation series, The Chains of Olympus, and I'm going to like, thank you, Ghost of Sparta. They're taking them from the PSP version.
Right.
And putting the 2 games together on one disc for the PlayStation 3. Were you involved with the voice work, and how involved were you on that particular one?
Okay. Well, I was, is the Gravedigger involved in that, or is that in one?
That's in the first one, but I haven't played these 2 yet. I
Oh,
just
okay.
haven't played the demo, and I'm like really
Well, I should.
I know the first 3 games.
Okay.
I haven't played the 2 PSP games.
Well, I'm Theseus. I was the Gravedigger who turns into Zeus in one, and then I'm Theseus in another one. And Theseus, it was a fun one because at one point I get killed. They said no. So I had to scream with my head, like I'm getting my head. So how do you scream when somebody's slamming your head in? But that's the thing we had to do. At one point they said, okay, here we're going to, it was another game. They said, I said, well, okay, how do you die?